Hello, dear friends. Welcome. Hello, and welcome to the live stream today. Who's all here today? Welcome to Coffee with the Council Reprise. Happy Tuesday, unless you're one of our friends who live in the future, meaning across the date line. Then happy Wednesday. Who's all here? Say hello. How you doing? Catherine, good to see you, dear. How are you? Hey, Debbie. Are you a firstie, Debbie? We call those people who are first-timers firsties in our community. And hello from Wales. Very cool. I have a customer in Wales? Yes, I think so. Hey, Jeffrey. Hi, nice to see you. Good. Catherine says, fantastic. How are you doing today? I'm good today. I've started back on my morning walk routine as of this weekend, and it is feeling really supportive and really good for me. Yay, Debbie's a firstie. Say hello to Debbie, everybody. Welcome her. Welcome to Coffee with the Council. Hey, Victoria, welcome back. Victoria left me the sweetest review of one of my tracks yesterday, and it was more of a review of the live, I think. Wasn't it, Victoria? Just such a wonderful review. Thank you, dear. That was very much appreciated. Hey, Mike, welcome. You're brewing up your coffee now. Very cool. Awesome. Anyone else other than Debbie, a first-timer? We call them firsties here in our community. Welcome aboard, if you are. I will be explaining what we're doing today shortly after some more people get in. Hey, Johnny, good to see you. Welcome to you. How are you today? It's a pretty sunny day here today and not too hot. So those are always really nice when I get to go on a walk in those. For those who are firsties like Debbie, my name is Greg Phillips. I'm a way shower and a champion of other people's aha moments. One of my most favorite things to do on the spiritual journey for myself is to have an aha moment or a breakthrough moment. And I love guiding people through theirs. My main focus in that is I love to spark them and witness them, but also celebrate them, because I really find them to be incredibly open-hearted, moving, transformational, whatever adjective or description you want to use. Aha moments are just such a wonderful thing when your perception shifts or you are able to finally have a new perspective or perceive something in a whole new way. And very much so, the council helps and does that as well. So for those who are brand new to me, I'm also a channel. I channel the Council of Seven. They're a collective of guides and beings from a variety of different places. They don't individually identify themselves, but they do identify as a council. And they have come to us to share information about, they represent 7 distinct energies that are vital for the spiritual evolution of humanity. The first of which is love, and the second of which is unity. So for anyone else who is a first-timer, in April, I held Coffee with the Council, and they shared many messages with us on the topic of Is-ness. And so in May, we've been doing this reprise of them, where I show the replays from the previous April sessions, and we get to chit-chat, discuss them, bring up new questions, explore new concepts and ideas around it, and sometimes we also get an extra message for them. Today, we are doing a really beautiful topic. Today's stream is the replay of hold loving space for yourself to be exactly as you are. And this is a very, very sweet and open-hearted topic. So I'm looking forward to sharing it with all of you. Hey, Alicia, good morning to you. How are you today on this lovely Wednesday? Yay, another magical experience. Awesome. Welcome. Do we have any other firsties? Hey, Amelia, hi, good to see you. So cool. Amelia is far in the future. She's are you in tomorrow yet in Finland? How late is it there in Finland? I'm guessing 9 or 10 p.m. 10 p.m. That's pretty close. All right, so you're not in tomorrow yet. You're not in tomorrow with Alicia. Awesome. Very cool. It's great to have you guys here. I'm looking forward to doing the session today, and we'll see what unfolds. We're just going to give a couple more minutes for other folks to pop in. Please feel free to share how you're doing. Has anyone had... So for anyone who's been with us on the Coffee with the Council, either since April or just since May, has anyone want to share like a recent insight or one that just is feeling like a huge shift for you? Please feel free to do so in chat. Basically a huge shift or insight from what the council has been teaching us for the last month and a half. I can't believe that May is already 2/3 over, so it's basically a month and 2/3. So feel free to share. Still haven't gotten used to the new live UI. I keep cutting the top of my head off. Oh well. I don't have a lot of hair there anyway, so I can cut off. Well, if nothing comes to mind, unless you guys are busy typing long novelettes. What about you, Catherine? You've been coming pretty regularly to these, and Victoria I know is brand new. Debbie's a firstie, so you guys wouldn't have necessarily anything yet. Although, Victoria, do you feel like sharing with everybody what you experienced? It would be so nice if you feel up to it. Or I could just read it if you wanted. Did chat die? No, chat didn't die. Thanks for the hearts. Those are always fun to see. Okay, well, oops. Well, you're an almost firstie. Yes, that's true. This is just your second life. Yeah. Do you feel like sharing what you experienced yesterday, Victoria? Alicia says, I love just sharing the is-ness idea with others when they come to me with their problems. Oh, really? How are you doing that? That's so cool. You're spreading the love. You're spreading the wisdom. Johnny says, I'm paraphrasing, but one thing that stuck with me was high vibration gives you the power of choice. Low vibration often means you forego the power of choice. That is a really powerful insight, Johnny. Yeah, and that's a good paraphrase. Yeah, and it's understanding why you would need to paraphrase that. So yeah, pretty beautiful. It's funny too, not funny in a haha way, but funny in an interesting way, right? And in what Johnny just shared, right? The council's been talking about this a lot more recently, but the very notion that we are only able to perceive and therefore receive that which we are a vibrational frequency matched to, right? Which is truly the basis of the law of attraction. You can only attract or receive that which you can perceive as a vibrational match. So when you are in the lower vibrations, in the lower states of being or lower energies, that is pretty much all you can perceive. And so as you do practice and learn new states of being and new ways of training your mind to focus on higher vibration stuff and to actually be in that feeling state of higher vibration, you do vibrate so much faster that you are able to perceive more possibilities. So it is a really, really nice paraphrase, Johnny. Cool. Welcome, anybody who's joining just recently. We're going to get started shortly. Welcome to Coffee with the Council Reprise. Victoria, can I share what you wrote to me yesterday? Would that be okay? Has your approval? Yes. Okay. So she said, "Dear Greg, my spiritual journey in life was fulfilling and long enough to know both ups and downs and the lowest points. From there, today, you drag me," meaning her lowest point, "you drag me out back into the light with the power of your voice and your words, as though you have known me for ages. And every word you said was absolutely correct and absolutely right and absolutely healing. Thank you for bringing me back from my darkness. You are more than welcome, Victoria." So Victoria has had a huge aha moment, it sounds like. Yes? And truly, I give thanks to the council for sharing their wisdom through me, because I've been on the spiritual journey for a long time, probably over 35 years. I've been meditating for pretty much that long as well. Missed a few periods of life and skipped a few days here and there, kind of a thing. But meditation's just become a part of my life. And I've been in a lot of different spiritual endeavors. So there's a lot that I've learned. But the council coming to me about a year ago, it's just really shifted. It's just shifted my gifts in a whole new, beautiful way, and the wisdom and the knowledge and the love and the celebration that they bring through is just, it's just really, really touching. So it's an honor and a joy for me to be able to channel them and to share in the energy that they bring to all of us. So with that said, are we ready to get started? I'm ready. I think we can get going. I have to mind my time today because my afternoon is full of work meetings. Full of work meetings. Alrighty. So this message is from April 17th, if I am not mistaken. So for anybody who knows how to go see the replays, if you're wanting to go back to that, yes, April 7th. It was the one April 17th, although the video wasn't posted until the 21st. I think I was taking some time off. All right, so let us see what they have to say. Now, for anyone who's newish to this, oftentimes, if I feel inspired or get an intuitive hit, I'll stop the video and I'll ask questions, or I'll provide extra insights or information that comes through. And if you don't understand something and you want me to pause in order for you to type a question out, please just write, "Can you pause?" or just say, "Pause, please," in chat, and I will pause and we can have a chat about that. So feel free to do that if it comes up for you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, our dear beloved friends. We greet you from the energetic realms where we love, honor, and celebrate every single hair on your head, every single movement of your pinky finger, every beat of your heart, breath you take, morsel you put in your mouth, every smile, every frown, every crying tear. For we celebrate, honor, and love all that you are. And this is truly where we must reside today. And our message to you is just, we are here to hold a space for you to be exactly as you are. It is our strongest and probably most important encouragement and invitation to you to do the same for yourself. For you do not learn how to have the capacity to hold that space for others until you learn how to hold that space for yourself. Indeed, it is truly sometimes feels like a lifelong journey in this regard, for there is always in human experience, the going back and forth, the ups and the downs, the expansions and the contractions that are naturally occurring in life. Naturally designed into life, dear friends. Nothing is going wrong when you are experiencing contrast. This is an important concept to begin to accept into your heart, and yet we will stay with the topic of holding a loving space and a compassionate open heart for yourself in this moment. Indeed, our dear beloved channel Greg has given you a wonderful example. His weariness weighed heavily upon him this morning, and he held space for it. He was honest and authentic in his sharing with you, and because of your love and his ability to hold space for himself, he then was able to expand, feel a little bit better, and begin to be able to hold more space for all of you. So what they're referring to is on April 17th, I woke up that morning and I was utterly exhausted. I didn't feel like I could do anything that day. And, we'd been we started the Coffee with the Council on April 2nd. So we were a good 2 weeks into that series, which was almost every single weekday. And I was still sifting and sorting through, figuring out what kind of schedule I would want to do and keep that. In April, we were doing it very early in my morning. 8:30 is pretty early for me, at least in terms of actually getting on a live stream. So I really had to spend the morning and take care of myself and slow down and just be present with it all. And then I ended up sharing about it earlier which you're not seeing, earlier in the replay. So that's what they're referring to. And indeed, this is not always an easy task on planet Earth. We understand and respect this with great honor and great appreciation for every effort you make on every single moment of every single day in order to hold a compassionate, loving, heart-filled space for yourself. And as you continue to practice this day in and day out, regardless of how this looks like, it may mean that you need to take a nap on certain days, or maybe you need to have a conversation with a dearly beloved close friend who you know you can share fully yourself with, or perhaps you need to confront somebody, or perhaps you need to say no to someone or yes to something else. This takes on a variety of different looks and appearances as you experience life, but it is all an invitation to hold this loving space for yourself. And the more and more you do this, the more and more you practice this particular aspect of this practice of holding space for all that is within your life experience, whether it feels good, bad, or indifferent. When you hold a loving space in your heart for it, you are honoring the is-ness of it. Indeed, every single opportunity you have to honor the is-ness of it, when you are honoring an old story and you're saying, there is an old story, I recognize how it is touching me and affecting my thinking today. And indeed, I am carrying this old story in the very moment. Even though it feels quote unquote old, it is very much present in the now with me. This story still exists in the here and now. Hello, story. How are you today? It is not so good to see you today, and yet I honor and allow your existence. I will not push against you. I will not push you away. I will not invalidate you. I will hold a loving heart. I will hold you in my space, and in doing so, you honor that. You soften that old story. It lessens the impact of it upon you. We are hoping that this is making sense to you, for we cannot look at the chat at this moment to see if it does. So that's actually a really good question. Is this making sense to you? The example they're giving is really, really cool. Hey, Jojo, good to see you. Good morning to you. Hi, Pam. This is like a practice that I'm engaged in called parts work. Yeah, I'm not familiar with parts work, but I'm sure that it relates to lots of different practices. So remember that over the last month and 2/3, the council's been talking to us about is-ness, right? So since some people weren't here for the recent ones, a couple days ago, the message was about how is-ness holds no duality. And then the day after that, the message was how is-ness holds all perspectives at the same time. And so this is a really, they're dropping into the encouragement for us to just hold that loving, compassionate space for ourselves, for everything that we experience, our stories, our judgments, our frustrations, our disappointments, our happy moments, our celebrations, the moments that we feel loving and appreciative, and the moments that we don't. They're wanting us, not wanting, but they're inviting us to hold a loving, open-hearted space for all that, because this is truly how we can expand our perception and hold space for all that is. Because it really, as you've probably heard, if you've been on the spiritual journey for any length of time, you've probably heard that it's an inside job. It starts with us. It starts with how we treat ourselves, how we view ourselves. We apply our practices to ourselves. And by doing that, it helps create spaciousness and open-heartedness and open-mindedness when we're working and helping or dealing with or interacting with others. So it's a really beautiful thing. Yeah. Pam says, like you said, a story. The story of is a part of us from the past that wants to be heard with a loving heart. Yes, indeed. And the main point they're making about that is the story was maybe formed in the past. And this is really important. So we'll hopefully see if you guys can understand this. But your experience of the story isn't a past experience. It is a now experience, which means the story still exists vibrationally in us if we are remembering it, if we are actually experiencing it. We experience it all in the now because the past and the future are illusions. There is only the now. Everything only ever exists in the now, including our future hopes and expectations and our past stories, regrets, and disappointments. The experience of life occurs in the now and never occurs in the past or the future. So even if we're dealing with a story or looking at or feeling or having the impact of a story, that impact is right now. And so it's a lot easier when we recognize, it's a lot easier to be present with that when we recognize that it's now. When we recognize that a story is occurring in the now, our experience of that story, or whether it's a remembrance or an emotional reaction or whatever it is, whatever response it might be, that experience is happening in the now, and it's a lot easier to be present with it because it is. It's not that it was. We don't over-identify with the story. We do sometimes, but when we let go of over-identifying with it, when we let go of any attachments to how things quote unquote were, and we just acknowledge this is the story that I'm carrying around right now, there's a sense of freedom to that. It gives us some more power of choice as well. So it's a really, the whole holding space for everything that you are, like holding a loving, open-hearted space for that. It's just a really powerful practice in general, whether it comes from, the one where Pam's learning it and the parts work, or, I mean, it comes in a lot of different forms. I mean, when I was studying ecstatic dance with Gabrielle Roth, the 5 rhythms of Gabrielle Roth, that was very much about being in the present, being in the now. Whenever I was in my head about the past or the future, I was never in my body doing the dance. So there's lots of different modalities. There's lots of different methods and practices and teachings. And you probably, if you looked or did a study on it, you'd probably find that quite a number of them are all based on acknowledging what is and being in the moment. So it's a very cool message. Do feel that in your hearts, this is resonating on a deep level. Again, holding space for all that is. Debbie's saying, I feel guilt in the now as a result of remembering a story. Yes, exactly. Through meditation, I recognize when it's happening. So should I show myself compassion and let it go if I can? There's not so much of a should. I think with the counsel, let me see. It's a beautiful question, Debbie. I love this question. Thank you for asking it. I think that really the first step to letting this go, right? Because there's a lot of methods and practices and whatnot that talk about letting go. There's cord cutting, there's all sorts of different ones. And that can often be a focus of trying, our mind can get involved in that with a focus of trying to get rid of it, let it go, right? And I know what the council is encouraging us to do is to acknowledge its right to exist. So in this moment, if you're feeling guilt right now, because you only ever feel the emotion in the moment, right? And the story is in the moment. So you acknowledge that guilt. Oh, guilt. Hello. Hi, I see you. I'm not exactly happy to see you and feel you, but I see that you are there. Oh, it's guilt from a story that I got from the past, but I'm currently practicing that story in some way. I'm choosing to believe that story is true, is really what's going on. You're choosing to believe, whether it's a conscious or unconscious choice, you're choosing to believe that that story is true. And by believing that that story is true, you're feeling the feeling of guilt or whatever it might be, regret, remorse, etc., shame. Do you guys know the difference between guilt and shame? Guilt is the feeling that I did something wrong, and shame is the feeling that I am wrong. Very cool distinction that I learned over 30 years ago. So yeah, Debbie, I would say the very first step to finding your way through that scenario you just described would just be being present to it and almost acknowledging ownership of the story, right? Because you're not a victim. You're not a victim to the story. It's just something that it's a thought pattern or a story that you've been believing for a long time. And it might just be time for that to, it might be done. You might be done with that story. It might have served its purpose and run its course. And that's the other thing. Most anything that we're still holding on to from the past has served a purpose. It just outlives that purpose after a while and then becomes painful instead of helping. Does that make sense, Debbie? How is that feeling as an answer? Pam says, forgiveness and acceptance of your humanity. You just learned a new way how not to do something. Amelia says, this is so beautiful. Beautifully said. Makes a lot of sense. And Debbie says, absolutely. Yeah. And indeed, Pam, you're all right. But some people struggle with forgiveness and some people struggle with acceptance. It's difficult for folks that are very heavily caught in their mind to really grasp the nature of forgiveness and acceptance until they actually eventually get to practice it and learn how to do it, right? They're not easy. I think for me, just being present with what is one of the most beautiful encouragements and invitations that the council gives us, really, and that any practice gives us, to be present with what is, to not rush to change it, to not rush to fix it, which can often come from the mind's place, right? Over the weekend, I was in this horrible emotional funk, and I could feel it, and I could feel myself judging myself and being critical of myself, but I couldn't quite sift and sort through it entirely. I got to talk to a friend, and so sharing that was helpful. And then Monday morning, I went on a walk, and I knew that I needed to move my body in order to move whatever was going on, in order to feel or be aware of what was going on. And I realized through going on my walk that I was judging my present based on my expectations of the future, which is, for me, one of the most difficult forms of suffering that I ever experienced personally, right? And I could feel that I was wanting my present to be different based on what I'm hoping for the future. And all that does is invalidate what is now. It invalidates what is. And the minute I recognized that, I realized I'm happy with what is. Yes, I do desire some things in the future. I do desire things for me to unfold or to manifest, but I'm really quite satisfied with what is. And then I remembered a long-standing phrase from Abraham Hicks, anyone who knows Abraham Hicks, and they would often say, The meaning of true desire, the essence of true desire, isn't that you're wanting something. It's that you're satisfied with what is and you're eager for more. That's the true feeling of desire. It's not just a wanting. Yeah. So, hey, Elena, good to see you. So nice to see you again. It's been a while. So, Debbie, you're saying, yeah, it's time to let it go. It has served its purpose. Great. Well, there's nothing you really need to do except figure out what the old belief that the story is based on. Just figure it out. And then you look at it and you acknowledge it and you say you're done with it. And you don't need a replacement belief. That's the beautiful thing that I've learned. You just need to be willing to believe differently. Debbie, if you are willing to believe differently, then you're opening your space in your heart. And then you can let source or God or the universe or whatever it is that you call the divine, you can allow it to inform you intuitively, or you can get inspiration or somebody, or you'll just synchronously hear a whole new type of belief related to that, right? And a lot of times all these old stories have to do with our worth as a person and our value in terms of what we do or who we are, right? Not all the time, but a lot of times those stories can relate back to that. Okay, let us continue with the counsel. This is one of the most beautiful things you can do in terms of, indeed, every single opportunity you have to honor the isness of it. When you are honoring an old story and you're saying, there is an old story. I recognize how it is touching me and affecting my thinking today. And indeed, I am carrying this old story in the very moment, even though it feels quote unquote old, it is very much present in the now with me. This story still exists in the here and now. Hello, story. How are you today? It is not so good to see you today, and yet I honor and allow your existence. I will not push against you. I will not push you away. I will not invalidate you. I will hold a loving heart. I will hold you in my space, and in doing so, you honor that. You soften that old story. It lessens the impact of it upon you. We are hoping that this is making sense to you, for we cannot look at the chat at this moment to see if it does. But we do feel that in your hearts, this is resonating on a deep level. Again, holding space for all that is. This is one of the most beautiful things you can do in terms of practicing living in isness, in terms of practicing being present, fully present in the nowness. And our dear friends, as part of this, it is so absolutely vital that you do not judge or criticize or dump on yourself when you find that you cannot hold space for yourself, when you find that your old stories are heavily influencing you, when you find that your worries and fears and doubts about the future, as much as you recognize that they may be redunculous or irrational, are weighing heavy upon you. It is most important in those times, dear friends, that you simply just allow them to be, and we recognize that this is not always possible. But what you can do is not pile additional criticism and worry and fear and judgment and story upon all those things that are weighing you down. You can simply sort of tip your hat. Yes, we understand that is a bit of an older gesture. Nothing that is usually done these days in your civilization, although in certain parts of the world we believe that they still tip their hat in certain places of society. However, it is truly an heart gesture, and you're tipping your hat, saying hello. Hello, old story. Yes, hello. Good to see you. No, it is not good to see you. I do not like you, but that's okay. You're here. And so we will have tea together, or perhaps you will have a drink of juice or water or coffee or something. You'll just visit with the old story. The only reason to visit with the old story is to just be with it. For as you be with it, it will reveal the beliefs that are behind it. And then as you see the belief, you can either laugh at it or let it go, returning to the moment, returning to the now. But honoring the isness of all that is, whether it is past, present, or future, is absolutely essential. So, dear friends, we will leave you with this for now. We so appreciate your love and consideration of all that we have to bring to you. If this message speaks to you deeply, we do appreciate that you are taking it into your heart. And as always, we love you deeply and we celebrate you from where our perspective beyond the time and space, beyond the physical reality. And we are always here and available for you. And we always look forward to the next time that we get to visit with you in the physical. We thank you, we love you, and we bid you adieu. Wow. So this is, I think they might want to talk some more. I can actually feel them sort of tickling at the back of my mind, wanting to maybe add a few things. This is I haven't been even talking much, and I need some water. So I'm getting a download here. What's really important to try to remember in regards to working with Is-ness, and in this particular, or even just being with this particular invitation of just holding a loving space for all that is, it's very common, I should say, for us as humans to want to have an experience that we don't like and want to fix it or solve it. That's the mind. The mind has difficulty accepting things the way they are, but the heart has so much more wisdom, right? So much more knowledge about who we are. The heart is the seat of the soul. It is our portal to the divine, right? The mind, you may not have heard this before, the physical mind, the one that lives in our actual physical brain, there's the physical mind, and then there's the higher mind, or the higher self. The physical mind was designed to live solely in the 3D, solely in the physical reality. The higher self, the higher mind, lives like where the council does. They live in the energetic realms. They live in higher vibrations. It's non-physical. It's where our intuition and all that beautiful, amazing wisdom comes through. It's there's lots to be said about higher self, etc. But anyways, the 3D mind, the physical mind, while it can perceive new things, it is most commonly used to solve problems. However, I feel like really strongly that the council is encouraging us to not try to solve when we're in an old story, for example. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to solve. In fact, it's this encouragement and invitation to almost bow to it in honor. I honor your presence. I may not like your presence. I may not agree with having it here. I don't like this story. I don't like feeling guilty. I don't like feeling scared. I don't like worrying about the future. I don't like, etc., etc. You don't have to like it to honor it and hold space for it and show it the dignity of deserving to exist, because we wouldn't be having these old stories and the feelings around them, to continue to use that example. We wouldn't be having them unless there was an opportunity for a beneficial outcome. There's always unlimited opportunities. As we were talking about the other day, Is-ness holds all possibilities, all perspectives. And so in the moment of experiencing, just to take Debbie's sharing an example as an example, feeling guilty about an old story, right? The mind has a common reaction of adding more guilt on. I shouldn't be feeling guilty about feeling guilty, or getting angry about feeling guilty, or self-judging about feeling guilty, right? Or that just creates more story, unfortunately, and more suffering. But instead, what the council's saying is, if we can just be like, oh, hello, old story. I recognize you. I'm not happy you're here, but you are here. I acknowledge that you're here. What do you have to share with me? And you can do the same with physical boo-boos, owies, and pains, right? Oh my goodness, I was doing this the other day when I hurt my hand over the weekend. So there's a it's just very different. I think they're going to want to say something about this. I'll bring them in shortly. Hey, Hannah, how are you? Honoring the past can be harder than honoring the present or the future, maybe because it's a new concept for me. Yes, it can be. This concept can be, can feel harder, yeah. And you're not really honoring the past. You're honoring that you are maintaining in the moment, in the current present, You are maintaining a story. The origin of our stories and beliefs, friends, are not as important as we think they are. It can be very enlightening sometimes to understand why we're believing something or where it came from. Sometimes you can gain great insight intuitively from that investigation, but it's not required for letting go of an old belief. You do not have to dig through the past. You just don't. You just have to be willing to believe something different, create a space for the new belief to come in, and then keep your eyes and heart open for what that new belief might be. Hey, Nancy, good to see you. Debbie says, I love that there is nothing to fix. That's wonderful to hear. I believe that that is a huge part of why the council is teaching us Is-ness, because from their perspective, from a higher vibration, right? They are vibrating, they're at a frequency where our higher self is. They're in pure, positive love energy, right? They're in the oneness state of it at all times. They're constantly 100%, it says our higher self is connected with source, connected with the divine, right? And from their perspective, there is only love. There is only well-being. There is only everything. And we came down to earth to experience the contrast, because within the contrast, and it's not even coming down to earth, it's more like our soul is like a bubble or a sphere or a whole ball, and we've taken an extension of ourselves, of source, and we've focused it and concentrated that focus in such a way and lowered the vibrational until we match the vibration of physical reality instead of the higher vibration where the higher mind stays, right? So it's not even coming down, it's like, it's more like that. But from source's perspective, everything is exactly as it should be. We experience the contrast so that we can expand and grow. That's the only reason we came down here. And I like to say down because I guess I still feel it's directional, but that's the only reason we decided to become physical, or it's not so much become physical, but to focus our energy into the physical vibrations. And so the more and more we can hold a loving space, the more and more we can hold a compassionate, open heart for all of our experiences, embracing the human experience, somebody said last week in chat. The more and more we can do that, the more we can see that everything is in service to us. Everything has the potential for a beneficial outcome. And if everything has the potential for a beneficial outcome, if everything we experience can be of service to us in one form or another, then what do we have to worry about? Why are we in such a hurry for certain things, right? We're missing the moment when we're that way, right? So it's a really beautiful message. I think they really want to come through right now. Let me check timing. We're about 43 minutes in. I have a 2:30 meeting. Yeah, we could do another message from them. Let me check in with them, bring them in. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, our dear beloved friends. We greet you from beyond in the non-physical, in the energetic realms, where we hold a never-ending, eternal, and constant focus on the highest possible vibration of you, your higher self, your connection to source. This is our entire focus. We do not come down and join you in the lower vibrations and frequencies, for that would be a disservice to the actual purpose of why we are here. We are here, as we said yesterday to you, to be your guiding light vibrationally, to be your North Star, so to speak, your pole star, something and somewhere, energetically speaking, that you can return your focus to. Now, this is done in a variety of ways. Our encouragement from the message in the replay today of holding space for all aspects of you is truly a deeply profound one. For if you take this deeply into your hearts, dear friends, you will find that you are cultivating more understanding for yourself, more compassion for yourself, more patience for yourself, more love for yourself. You will begin to realize that your experience of all the different things that you can experience, even in just a single day on planet Earth, is indeed all the experience of you. When you are feeling the effects of an old story, when you are caught up in the worries of the future or the fears, you are experiencing you. Nothing has gone wrong. There is nothing to fix. You're just simply having an experience of you. It is truly that simple, dear ones. When you bring your mind in, when you listen to those who say you must investigate and dig, and yes, indeed, there are times to investigate and dig at certain things, but sometimes you just can't find a way through a difficulty. And when you can sit for a moment, acknowledge the existence of the difficulty, that difficulty, dear ones, has every right to be present in your experience. And if it didn't exist, if it wasn't in your experience, well, then there'd be no purpose for it. It wouldn't exist. But it comes with a purpose. It might come with a message. It might come with some opportunity to shift your perspective. Every single experience is an experience of you, and every single experience is an opportunity for you to expand and grow your spiritual alignment and awareness. When you're having an interaction with a coworker or a dear beloved colleague or somebody who is close to you or somebody who isn't even close to you at all, and you're having that encounter and experience and you feel disgruntled, you feel a frustration, you feel an agitation of sorts, or you feel great admiration, appreciation, deep respect, you feel so comfortable and calm and welcome in their presence. Dear ones, every single one of those examples is simply you experiencing you. Yes, indeed, you are interacting and experiencing with another individual at that moment, but you are experiencing you. It is you who is the one who is having the feelings. It is you who is the one who is having the response, who is replying in whatever way you're replying, who is feeling the emotions and having the thoughts. It is you. It is all an experience of you, dear ones. Every time you see a bird fly past you, or you hear the bird's song from a distance, every time you hear your favorite song, or you hear a sound that just grates on your nerves, you are experiencing you. Every time you pass your favorite tree, eat your favorite food, hug your favorite person. Every single time you get upset with your favorite person, eat the food that you do not like, stub your toe, have a nasty, bad, and uncomfortable, icky experience, you are experiencing you. If you're in the habit or tendency of choosing to invalidate any of those experiences, dear ones, all you're doing is invalidating yourself. If you are feeling angry about something and you are trying to push it away or push it down or avoid it or ignore it, all you're doing is avoiding and ignoring yourself. In those moments, dear ones, you are allowing the mind to say, this shouldn't be here, and it is not worth my attention, it's not worth my presence, it's not worth my time, it's not worth my energy. Oh my goodness, this causes so much suffering and pain, dear ones. For you are saying you are not worth your time. You are not worth your energy. You are not worth being present with. It is a very profound teaching. We hope that you do take it to heart. And this is truly at the basis of our encouragement for you to hold a loving, open-hearted space for all that you are. All that you are. For you are all. And how do you learn how to live as being all? You hold space for all that you are. We hope that this helps today, provides further clarification for those that may have needed it. We love and appreciate and celebrate all that you are. Why do we always say this? Well, because we are wanting you to know that you have an ally. You have unlimited eternal support for that. The celebration and the love of all that you are. This we do from the depths of our heart with absolute 100% unconditional willingness and joy, for it is indeed our joy and our honor and our pleasure to hold that singular focus for you. And someday, whether it's the day that you die or before you die, you too will be able to experience how absolutely blissful, magical, mystical, synchronous it is to be holding such a powerful singular focus on loving and celebrating all that you are. We will leave you for now. We thank you for being here today, joining in this communal gathering. It is always a joy and a pleasure for us to visit with you, and we will speak with you all again soon. Wow. There's such sweetness in that. How you guys feeling? Oh, it's so nice seeing all the hearts. If you are a firstie or have come in late and you've never followed, please do consider following. There's a little pop-up card. It's so easy to follow right there. If you follow, you'll get notified of when I have new live streams or anything else that happens. You can also check out the rest of my profile. I do have my teacher link there, and you can pretty much access anything, all Greg there. So I appreciate and love the follows. It's great to have people join our community if they are so moved. Also, if you are feeling moved in your heart to share some of your abundance with me, I greatly appreciate any and all donations that you can make. Even $1 matters, quite honestly. Any single amount helps keep my business going and helps continue to provide these live streams for you guys. So thank you. If you feel called in your heart to share your abundance with me, I very much appreciate it. I honor it and I celebrate it as well. Debbie, you are welcome. Debbie says, wonderful, so loved. And if you really enjoyed this session today, thank you so much, Debbie. I really appreciate your donation. It's so nice. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it. If you are wanting to attend the next live, that will be on Thursday. And there's the pop-up, signing up and putting that in your calendar for that too. That one is Is-ness says yes to everything. So it's almost all the same perspective, but they're just talking about it from different angles, right? So that, because you never know what angle is going to grab you, right? Today's angle of holding space for everything that you are, right? Holding that open, loving heart, that might grab somebody in one way, right? It might create an aha for one person, but then Thursday's topic of Is-ness says yes to everything might provide somebody else with a different, eye-opening insight, right? And so they're continuing to talk about is-ness from different angles and perspectives, because you just never know what perspective is going to jive or resonate with what individual. So Melia says, thank you. This was amazing and so helpful. I'm so glad, Melia. I'm so glad. These messages come at the perfect time. Why is that, dear? You feel willing or open to tell us why this is the perfect time for these messages for you? If not, that's fine. Not an issue. Does anyone have any questions about today's topic or these messages from today? Any questions before I get ready to go? Oh, the topic of old stories, for example. So you've been experiencing some old stories in the moment, huh? Yeah, old stories can be one of our major sources of suffering, can't they? And unfortunately, they become like filters on our glasses for how we look at the moment. You know, when I was having my funk this weekend, and then I recognized that I was filtering my view of the moment from my expectations for the future, that was causing me a disconnect with myself. That was putting me out of alignment with Source, with love, with appreciation for all that I am and have in this moment. And when I, like all great ahas, the minute I recognized that, I was able to relax and be present again and acknowledge what I love about how my life is right now. Jocelyn says, I'm so sorry, too late. Oh, that's okay. Hello, by the way, my name is Jocelyn from Alberta, Canada. It's nice to meet you. Jocelyn, I'll be back on Thursday with the next message from the council, so consider coming for that, and I'll throw that card up again if you want to sign up for that. So Amelia says, this definitely gave me new ways to approach them, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm really glad, Amelia. That is so awesome. I'm so glad, and that's why I'm here, to help you find new ways to think, new ways to perceive, new perceptions and ideas and perspectives. Victoria says, old stories are like old clothes we outgrow. Yeah, they can be indeed. And really, as I've said, and the council continues to say, the old story is just an opportunity to see what belief is behind it. What belief is it based on? Was this a belief that I just picked up from family, friends, society, and just unconsciously chose to believe? Do you like believing that anymore? Is that belief working for you anymore? If it's not, then you could just acknowledge it. Say, thank you, belief. Thank you for serving your purpose for however long it was. Thank you for that. Maybe it was keeping you safe. Maybe it was keeping you, who knows? Maybe it was allowing you to get through a difficult moment, or moments, string of moments, right? Maybe it was simply there to lead to today's aha. When you realize, oh, I don't need that belief anymore. I'm willing to believe differently. Sometimes a story is as simple as that. It just existed to create an opportunity for a breakthrough. There may be no other reason for that story to have existed except to set you up for, not in a bad way, but in a positive way, to line up the path for you to have a breakthrough. And that's a fun, exciting, positive thing, right? So why get pissy or get mad at or invalidate our stories? Until we understand the purpose of the story and the belief, any other reaction is just the mind. And that's okay. That's just how it is. Even that, even in the moment of reacting to our stories, we can simply go, oh, there I go. There I go, reacting to an old belief. I don't know what the old belief is, but I know I'm reacting to an old belief. I can definitely feel the gunkiness of that story. Yeah. And often old clothes are given as hand-me-downs to other people, or they're, sent to the Salvation Army or the thrift stores, right? And they get repurposed for somebody else. And then it's no longer old clothes. It's new clothes for the new person. I hope this is helpful for you guys, and that I hope that you have enjoyed today's session. Thank you for being here. I so very much appreciate everybody's presence today, your hearts, anybody who spoke up, and even those who didn't speak up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And I am going to get ready for my string of work meetings that is coming the rest of this afternoon. Jocelyn shared our old stories that we throw out can be of service to somebody else. Well, they could be. Yeah. Usually they're just in service to us. All right, my dear friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for those who donated. Thank you for those who shared in the chat. Thank you for those who just hung out and enjoyed their time here or didn't enjoy their time here. Whatever it was, it's all good. It all is. It all just is. And I will send you off and see whoever shows up on Thursday. Much love, and many blessings to all of you. See you later.